On today's episode, we have a list of ways to make your life easy, healthy, and entertaining. We take a walk down memory lane. G.I. Joe! Look who's turning 40. And we tried the best reviewed beauty products.
There's magic going on behind this.
But up first, with all of the flight delays and cancellations, we have what you need to know.
You're entitled to a full cash refund.
It's your life, it's your list, and it starts right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Jimmy Rhodes. Lately, it seems like every time you ask someone about their vacation, what you hear about is how their flight was delayed or canceled. Between worker shortages and a record number of people flying, many airlines are warning that the problem could get even worse. To protect yourself when traveling, you need to know your passenger rights. And that's our featured story at the top of the list.
Tonight, hundreds of flights are canceled, stranding flyers nationwide.
For the third day in a row, airlines are canceling flights all across the country.
More than 2,000 flights axed just since yesterday.
Flight cancellations and delays hurt travel plans, but they shouldn't punish your pocketbook.
It is guaranteed under federal law that the airline owes it to you.
Scott Kies of Scott's Cheap Flights walks us through federal laws that protect airline passengers, starting with you can ask for cash instead of a travel voucher.
Under federal law, if an airline cancels or significantly changes your flight, you're entitled to a full cash refund.
If you want to opt out of the airline voucher and get your money back instead, you may have to call their customer service. And if they give you any guff,
travelers and consumers should go ahead and complain to the Department of Transportation because they have an enforcement office to make sure that travelers are getting the refunds that they are owed under federal law.
Next on our list of passenger rights, if you're involuntarily delayed for more than 2 hours, you're getting paid.
When you get bumped against your will, you're entitled to up to $1,550 in cash refund.
And for a 1 to 2 hour involuntary bump, customers can get up to $775 by law.
That's less of a maximum and more of a minimum these days in terms of compensation.
In Michigan, Delta Airlines recently offered $10,000 to 8 passengers each who were willing to take a voluntary bump.
Be the eager beaver, get to the front of the line, but declare that you would like to be given a voucher for the same amount as whoever the last volunteer is.
Willis Orlando, a senior flight expert with Scott's Cheap Flights, says if you get bumped, don't stop with money. Shoot for the sky.
Ask for other things that they might be able to give you, such as lounge access, maybe an upgrade on your next flight, or request that they put you up in a hotel. Same thing with meals. Request meal vouchers. Very often the airlines will be happy to give you a meal voucher.
And the final passenger right is the 24-hour rule.
Under federal law, from the moment you hit purchase, you're entitled to a 24-hour grace period during which you can cancel that purchase and get a full cash refund if you would like.
Since prices fluctuate quickly, this rule allows you to jump on and lock in a cheap rate before checking your calendar or with a travel partner.
There are 2 caveats here. One is that you have to book directly with an airline, and 2 is that it has to be at least a week out from your flight.
Airline rules to let passengers fly high are at the top of our list.
For thousands of years, humans have gone to the ends of the earth searching for beauty products. But we've discovered the mother lode in the Amazon, or at least Amazon.com. Jackie Denker is looking at which ones are precious and which ones you should leave behind.
The mighty Amazon has been providing for humans for thousands of years. These days, we're using the other Amazon to source for some wild beauty products, from wrinkle removers to diamond face masks.
There are some gems out there that can give you some temporary quick fixes to brighten your skin and help with fine lines.
Marissa Abdo, certified aesthetic nurse specialist and co-founder of Lumen and Bevel Aesthetics, shows us a few of these Amazonian treasures. Starting with the jade roller.
It's meant to lift and sculpt the face, and we kind of use it, along our cheekbones, along our jawline. People swear by this. I actually have one myself. I keep it in the fridge so it's cold, and I use it in the morning to help with puffiness under the eyes.
It's simply a piece of jade quartz on a roller device. I gave it a roll. She says it's a great choice to alleviate morning puffiness.
I kind of will just do a little back and forth around here, and that's gonna help just depuff, especially that malar fat pad.
Also known as those pesky bags under our eyes.
And how many times do we do this?
I do it for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Just until you kind of feel a little bit, freshened up.
Yeah, so it could be a little part of your morning routine.
Exactly.
Discover it on Amazon for about $14. We're saying goodbye to wrinkles and lines with our next item, Frowny's Wrinkle Patches.
They are gonna be patches that you put on your face where you start to develop lines. So like in between your brows, your forehead.
When you frown.
When you frown, exactly.
Okay.
You'll want to wash off any makeup before you apply them. Just add a little water to the back of the patch before you apply.
Let's give it a try.
Okay, let's do it.
Marissa says these stop our forehead muscles from contracting and causing lines.
Raises your eyebrows, but creates those horizontal lines on your forehead.
Okay, so when you scowl at somebody, those lines.
You can get them on Amazon for about $23. We'll wrap with the girl's best friend, diamonds. Well, a diamond face mask anyway.
It is Korean skincare, which has kind of been all the rage for the last couple of years.
K-beauty.
This one has little ground up diamonds in it, so it's meant to exfoliate your skin. So you will get a little bit of softening of the skin, a little bit of brightening of the skin. It's gonna be a little slimy.
Okay.
Woo!
A pack of 10 is about $15 on Amazon. For links to these items, head over to thelisttv.com. From wrinkle removers to diamond masks,
There's magic going on behind this.
unlocking the beauty secrets of the Amazon.
For boomers, G.I. Joe was an icon in a whole lot of toy chests. And when Hasbro reintroduced the toy soldiers in 1982, the company that coined the term action figure, don't call them dolls, had a massive success on its hands. From cartoons and toys to the first female Joe, Christina's looking at this fascinating mission of pop culture.
G.I. Joe, fighting man from head to toe.
Back in the 60s and 70s, this fantastic plastic soldier was groundbreaking.
The greatest fun you ever had in playing soldier.
G.I. Joe essentially invented the action figure category when it hit the scene in 1964. In 1982, Hasbro reinvented G.I. Joe as G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
Toy and pop culture expert James Zahn is helping us celebrate 40 years of all things Joe, starting with the introduction of the modern, smaller G.I. Joe toys.
Gone were the 12-inch figures, and the new deal was 3.75-inch articulated action figures.
But this tiny toy packed a punch. It blew up on the small screen with its namesake cartoon.
A show that kids could get into every day after school, see their favorite heroes on the screen, and then of course ask mom and dad to go out to the toy store.
Next up, when the toy came out in 1964, Hasbro made G.I. Joes that look like all types of Americans.
This is the rugged G.I. Joe adventure team.
You had characters of different ethnicities and nationalities that were working together as members of the G.I. Joe team.
In 1982, they continued their mission of inclusivity by rolling out the first female combat Joe.
Counterintelligence, codename Scarlet.
Complete with her awesome crossbow.
Fast forward to today, and the new toys are set to take over the toy aisle.
Inspired by the original characters from 1982 and beyond, they're now going from 3.75-inch scale to 6-inch scale as the G.I. Joe Classified series.
All your favorites are there: Storm Shadow, Scarlet, and even retro-style figures like the Baroness.
These are the modern 6-inch figures, but on retro-inspired card backs that feature new art that is based on the 1982 originals.
Saluting an action figure icon. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Coming up on the list. Why one baseball team loves their bat dog.
And he's just like, yep, I own this place.
And want to replace your patio furniture? Here's what to look for.
It should be prepared and equipped to stand up to the elements.
Plus,
he's coming, isn't he?
The long-awaited adaptation of this Neil Gaiman graphic novel.
They are not as you left them.
All that and more next.
YouTube, yes, I know you were right in the middle of watching the show and I've interrupted. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know that if you hit subscribe and ring the bell to turn on notifications, you'll never miss a minute of the list. Okay, back to the show. We're back. A lot of us deal with stress and anxiety on the job, and while it can hurt our performance, most people are super uncomfortable talking about it. Well, here's a little help. Jackie Denker has tips on starting the conversation about mental health at work.
Talking about mental health is not always comfortable, especially in the workplace.
We're trying to climb the ladder. We want our bosses to respect us. We want our investors to invest with us. We want to appear strong. So to come out and say, I feel anxious, I feel depressed, I feel scared, it feels counterintuitive.
But
when we actually open up, we create this space within us that allows all of the threats standing before us or coming towards us to move right through us.
So to learn how to start that hard conversation at work, we turned to award-winning executive coach Mitchell Creasy. First of all, we have to admit to ourselves what is causing us mental stress. Things like
your boss, your partners, shareholders, thinking that you can no longer handle the pressure, letting your team down.
He says take some time to notice when feelings are triggered to decipher those stressors. And by doing this,
we end up bringing the darkness to light and begin the process of starting to feel a lot lighter. And when we feel lighter, it's much easier to take a step forward.
Next, allow yourself to feel.
Give yourself written or verbal permission to feel exactly how you feel.
For example,
I so-and-so feel afraid. I so-and-so feel angry. I so-and-so feel anxious.
And then he says allow yourself to feel it without any judgment.
Allowing the feeling actually dissolves the resistance between you and taking action to do something about it.
And he says remember, whatever it is that you're experiencing, you are not alone.
Sadness, anger, fear, disgust, they are all part of the human experience. They are totally normal.
Finally, it's time to take action.
You gotta tell somebody. You have to be honest about what you want and make a move to go get there.
This could look like a conversation with your boss or coworker about where you are mentally, or advocating for mental health support at your job to your boss.
And when you walk in there with that vision, fully complete, with your energy behind it, the odds of a yes, the odds of wheels being put in motion go way up.
By doing this, you won't just help yourself.
You create a wake that allows everybody else to fall in line behind you. And with that, we start going forward collectively.
Bettering ourselves as we open up about mental health at work.
The world is filled with weird and wonderful stories that often don't get the attention they deserve. And recently, we've seen a few involving dogs. Teresa Strasser shares a few that had us saying, wait, what? Hey, Teresa.
Thank you. Here are a few unusual tail-wagging tales highlighting man's best friend. Coming in at number 1, you've heard of the Westminster Dog Show, but have you heard of the world's ugliest dog contest? Well, meet this year's winner, 17-year-old Mr. Happy Face.
Now, it's not just my love that he has the love of the world. And who could ever have imagined that?
Dog mom, Flagstaff, Arizona's Janita Benali, owns the Chinese crested Chihuahua mix, who was recently named the winner at Northern California's Sonoma Marin Fair.
It celebrates the beauty of uniqueness for dogs that just are not considered to be the cutest, but they're Picasso perfect.
Mr. Happy Face here truly is a work of art. At number 2, dog obedience schools and training centers are very common nationwide, but a new unusual bow wow business, Erie, Colorado's House Wolf Pack, a pool that's dedicated to teaching dogs how to go for a swim. Go, 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 go. Good girl. Cassidy Orr built this $80,000 pool so dogs can learn the sport of dock diving.
So the whole intention was for dock diving. However, I have a huge population of people who just come to swim their dogs.
30 minutes of private pool time for little guys like this Chihuahua goes for around $30, and diving lessons for big boys cost $55.
Woo, get it, Maya! Yeah, let's go. By the end of it, they're like, oh, my dog loves this. This is fantastic.
All their info is at thehousewolfpack.com. And third on our list of dog stories that had us saying, wait, what? You've heard of bat boys or girls collecting bats at a baseball game, but what about a bat dog.
He's kind of got a big head. Like, he knows he's popular.
Wisconsin's Lake Country Doghounds is a new team in the American Association of Professional Baseball, and their Border Collie Colt is one of their newest members.
He walks around the stadium here and his tail's up, and he's just like, yep, I own this place.
You can check out what games he's working at doghounds.com, and those were a few recent tail wagging tales that had us saying, wait, what? Lots more to come on the list. Stay right here.
We're back, and make room on your binge list. August has a lot of new shows dropping, and Hattie D. Jamal's here to tell you what's coming in hot.
Hold up. Has summer TV officially become the best TV? Sometimes summer entertainment can be a little lackluster.
But not summer 2022. We have had some amazing series, and that is not stopping. We have a lot of good ones still to come.
Talking about his favorite new picks for August is Entertainment Weekly's executive editor and host of the What to Watch podcast, Jared Hall, starting with The Sandman.
Sandman is the story of the place that we go when we close our eyes at night, and it's called The Dreaming.
Fans have been waiting a long time for this series adaptation. It's been in various stages of development for something like 20 years.
Dreams and nightmares no longer seem to recognize their monster.
This fantasy series, based on the 1989 DC comic series of the same name, features an ensemble cast led by Tom Sturridge.
Anybody who read Sandman read the comics. That world is ending.
Mark Hamill will voice the very sarcastic Mervyn Pumpkinhead.
Good to know. The Sandman releases next Friday on Netflix. Up next, A League of Their Own.
I'm so excited for this one. I know a lot of people who are because they're such big fans of the movie. That also includes Abby Jacobson, and she is one of the co-creators.
Rosie O'Donnell, who stars in the original movie, will appear in a new role as a bar owner who's a big fan of the Rockford Peaches baseball team.
This is not a remake of the movie. These are entirely new characters. And what Abby and the rest of the team behind the scenes have done so well is create characters that still give you that same feel from when you watch the movie.
Catch A League of Their Own on Amazon Prime Video on August 12th. And finally, 5 days at Memorial.
We need help. We're running out of food and water.
This, of course, is not your regular medical drama. This is a true story. It's about real people. It's about real events that we as a country watched unfold on our TVs.
After we survived Hurricane Katrina, we thought that we could survive anything.
This series will give us a closer look at the hardships of the medical staff and the questions that arose around their decisions in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina.
Well, given the conditions, maybe 45 patients just succumbed.
Maybe they didn't. Another really stellar cast in this one. It includes Vera Farmiga, Cherry Jones, and Robert Pine.
Catch 5 days at Memorial on Apple TV Plus, August 12th. Great TV entertainment to look out for on the binge list. We'll be right back.
We're back. It's almost August, with the hot days, cooler evenings, and impending dread of winter, making this the perfect time to step up your cookout and backyard party game. Relaxing begins with great furniture, so we have tips for picking out a patio set that will be around for many summers to come.
With summer slowly winding down, the outdoors are calling, so it's time to get your patio up to snuff.
The right set of patio furniture can encourage people to get outdoors and disconnect.
Nick Arambula, co-founder and CEO of Neighbor, has 4 things to look for when buying patio furniture. For starters, look for quality materials.
Naturally, the product is going to sit outside. It should be prepared and equipped to stand up to the elements. There are plenty of different materials that can do that. We use teak wood because it's the most water-resistant, strongest wood that can be used outside.
Other materials, such as aluminum and stainless steel, are also great as they're both durable and able to withstand severe weather. Our next tip, get quality craftsmanship.
Nowadays, with the advent of online shopping, you're going to find a lot more furniture that's going to require a bit of assembly. You're going to want to make sure that the joinery, the parts where the product actually comes together, it is reinforced with really high quality materials, so like stainless steel bolts versus something that's going to feel cheaper and efficient.
If it's already built, make sure to inspect the spots where it comes together to make sure that there are no spaces or cracks that would allow water to seep through.
What about like the cushions and the fabrics?
Yeah, the number one thing that you're going to want to watch out for when you're buying cushions or fabric on your outdoor furniture is how it is going to behave and react to sun exposure.
So instead of cotton or linen, it's imperative to use a solution-dyed acrylic.
A solution-dyed acrylic is a product where it is actually dyed to the core of that yarn. And so the best analogy to use is think about a carrot versus a cucumber. If you slice a carrot, that bright orange is going to run to the middle of the carrot. If you slice a cucumber, that really deep forest green is just the external of it. The inside of it is going to be a light green, and that's the difference when you're talking about a solution-dyed acrylic, that as that product rubs and gets more and more exposure, it's just going to continue to present that same bright color to the consumer, to the eye when you're staring at it.
And lastly, consider buying modular furniture.
What we mean by that is that it can change based on your needs. For us specifically, we have a love seat that we sell, but that love seat is made up of two components. That is a left arm and a right arm. You can insert an armrest and make it in sofa. You can insert a corner and 4 other armrests and make it a large L-shaped sectional.
So no matter where you move, whether the space is big or on the smaller side, you can still make the furniture fit your lifestyle. Giving your patio a lift with the right outdoor furniture.
You know, a good patio set makes your backyard more inviting, and that's more living space. It's like having a bigger house. And late in the summer, you can really find some deals, too. YouTube, I swear to goodness, I'm so impressed that you watched and paid attention to this entire episode. You'll be glad you did when you get tested on the content. You could really earn a gold star by liking this video and leave a comment down below. And if you want some extra credit, subscribe. That way you'll never miss a list, like these episodes right here. Hey, you never know when there's going to be a pop quiz, so I'd study if I were you. Yeah, watch these.